Hello everybody and welcome to this week's video. I'm very excited to be letting you know this is the final 10 book takedown of the year. Cue the party poppers. I've really had to shift about my upload schedule in order to do this because I just have zero motivation to actually read anything. You'll notice I think in this video there will be a lot of audiobooks and Kindle reads because physically holding a book at the moment, it's just not working. I can't sit and do it. My brain is just not with it to do that. So that being said, I'm currently in the middle of 3 books. I'm not proud of it, but I'm making progress with each of them, which is something at least. So I will start with the one I am actually physically reading, which is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. I am buddy reading this with Beth, and I will not lie to you, I'm not liking it. I'm not. I am on page 108 and I feel like nothing has happened. If something has happened, it's gone straight over my head and I haven't caught on to what's going on. And I'm just frankly not interested. But because it is a buddy read, I'm going to keep powering through and I will finish this book. You can see where I've tabbed out where we're reading to each day. So I need to do my reading today. I really hope it gets better, but I don't think it's going to. For me, it is an issue with the writing style. It's written in a way that I find hard to gel with. Like, I think it's written for a smart person. I think I'm a smart person, but not that kind of smart person, you know? I hope that makes sense. It made sense when I told Beth that. So this is book 1 that I've got to get through. Book 2 that I'm reading on my Kindle because I actually got the ARC for this and I didn't read it on time. So now I have a physical copy as well, and that is The Mating Game by Lana Ferguson. I love Lana Ferguson's writing, but I'm not loving this. Something about it is just cringing me out. It's giving me the ick. Early on I got the ick and it's just stayed. It's ruined the story for me. Yeah, something's icked me out. I don't know what it is because it's not Omegaverse, because I've read that before, like The Fake Mate, book 1 in this. I loved. I gave that a 4-star. So I don't know what the problem is with this one. But I am, how far through? I'm on chapter 25, which is page 282, which I think is about 75% through. Again, here's my little bookmark. So that's book 2 for this video. And then extremely randomly, I put on an audiobook the other night to fall asleep to, and I didn't fall asleep to it at all. I actually listened to 2 hours of it, just sat in the dark. So the third book that I'm reading is Call Me Maybe by Cara Bastone. This is one of her shorter ones. I don't know if it says on the front. This is like part of a little short story trio. I don't know what the name of it is though. Will it tell me? I don't think it will. Oh, it's called the Love Lines series. So this is book 1 of Love Lines. There are 3 in that and they are all fairly tiny. Like, this is just over 200 pages and they are all free on Audible if you have a subscription. So I'm actually really loving this. I didn't think I would. I thought I would really like, don't know, I felt like this would be a very different writing style to Ready or Not or Promise Me Sunshine, which, as we know, big fan of Promise Me Sunshine, literally have a tattoo of it. But this is still hitting all of the like emotional beats for me. So again, I'm really enjoying this one, and I think I'm highly likely to read the other 2 in this series in this video because they are so short and sweet. And kind of like a guaranteed win. Like, I know I'm gonna like them. So that is book 3. I think likeliness of me finishing one of these tonight, I reckon I'll finish this one because it's audio and I have about an hour left. Then I'm obviously gonna plow through this one, and then this I'm just doing like 30 pages a day until we finish it. So I should finish it, I think, on Saturday. It's currently Monday, so I think I'll finish this Saturday. And then I don't know what I'm gonna read. So let's do a bit of reading and I will give you updates when I finish one of the 3 books I've just talked about. I've got my first book updates for this video. I finished Call Me Maybe by Cara Bastone and I absolutely adored it. Highly recommend the audiobook. It was so cute. So this follows, already forgotten everyone's names, and it doesn't tell me on the back, which is helpful. I know the guy is called Cal and Vera, that's the names. This follows Cal and Vera. So Vera phones the tech support for a website building company that she's been using and having problems with, and the guy that picks up is Cal, who is the tech support, and they end up staying on the phone for like 9 hours because Vera refuses to hang up until her website is fixed because she doesn't trust that he's gonna call her back. It's just really sweet and really, like, I don't know, heartwarming. It felt really natural. It felt really like, despite it being only 200 pages, you really got that connection with both the characters. There was depth to both of them, and it was all wrapped up by the end. What more could you ask for? I'm giving this a 4. I might even up this because I loved it so much. I'm definitely going to be reading the rest of these probably in the next week, because the audiobooks are so short. It's like 4 hours, maybe less because I listen on 1.5 speed. So absolutely adored this. Cara Bastone, you did not let me down, solidifying yourself as one of my favourite authors. Then I have also finished The Mating Game by Lana Ferguson. This, I can't remember if I said already, follows Tess, who is a contractor. She is renovating a lodge that is owned by Hunter, and this is Omegaverse. She's just found out that she is an Omega, and so she's shifting for the first time and going into heat for the first time, and it made me cringe so hard. I got really icked out right at the beginning. I don't even know from what. I just didn't vibe with this one, which is weird because I really enjoyed The Fake Mate, which is book 1 of this. So I think I'm going to settle on giving it a 3-star. There were bits I enjoyed, and then there were 3 chapters straight of them having sex, and I didn't want to read that. It's not often, but I didn't want to read that. So that I had an issue with. I found it quite cringe. He was like, call me Alpha, call me Alpha. No, babe. No, let me say it again, no. So I am going to give this a 3-star. I am going to, if she releases another book in this series, I will continue it. Maybe it was just this one. Maybe it was the time I was reading it. Because as I said, I really enjoyed The Fake Mate, so I don't know what my problem with The Mating Game was. But 3-star, I did enjoy it. I had the arc for this, so I need to write a review for that as well and upload that. And then my updates for Emily Wild's Encyclopedia of Fairies is that I am now on page 180 and still nothing has happened. Nothing's happening in this. It's slow. I am bored, and I'm gonna power through because I'm buddy reading it with Beth. And Beth doesn't DNF books, even though she also feels the exact same way I do. So we are gonna continue reading it. I don't want to pick it up. If I was reading this on my own, I would have DNF'd and I'd have read it within 100 pages for sure. But I'm gonna power through. I can do this. I can read it. I'll be fine. You know, it's 30 pages a day. 30 pages a day, easy. I've only got 4 days left of reading this, so that's like nothing. That's like nothing. Yeah, literally, I can't tell you a single thing that happens in this. I'm not convinced anything has happened in this. And I will say I hate Wendell. He's annoying. He's really annoying. That's about it. That's all my thoughts. That's it. Literally brain empty. So that's that. I think what I'm gonna do next is probably start the audiobook of, where is it on my shelf? Start the audiobook of Seatmate by Cara Bastone. That's the next book in this Love Lines trilogy. And I don't know what I'm gonna pick up. Maybe on Kindle next. Maybe Sin Bin by Chelsea Curto. That's probably gonna be a good one for me. I really love the DC Stars series, so that makes sense to pick up next. I've got the arc of Daddy Issues to read, so I probably need to pick that up soon because that was due in November and it's now December. That's where I'm at. I will give updates on whatever I pick up. I don't really know what that's going to be. That's the plan, kind of. And I will see you with hopefully some updates. Either I would have finished a book or I would have picked the next book I'm going to read. I ended up finishing Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, and my thoughts did not improve. I can't remember exactly what I've said about this, but essentially the writing style is just not for me. It is very similar to the, what is that series called, like Half a Soul, 10,000 Stitches, that sort of thing. Who's that even by? Olivia Atwater, is that one? And I didn't love those either. I find the writing style very dull, and not a lot of information actually enters my brain in that kind of writing style. You know, like it's definitely like I don't even know how to describe it, like old-fashioned academic style is how I would describe it. It just isn't for me. I was expecting cozy fantasy vibes. What I got was like almost like a textbook style diary, which makes sense because after reading it, I now know Emily Wilde is is she a doctor writing like a study on an encyclopedia. So you know, it makes sense it's written that way. I don't know why my brain didn't think it would be written that way going into it, but I really didn't enjoy it. I thought genuinely nothing happened. If it did, it completely went over my head, and it was a struggle to get through. So I am giving this 1 star. I don't give out 1 stars very often because I'm a big fan of DNFing, and I did tell Beth, the lovely lady that I was buddy reading this with, that if we weren't buddy reading it, I would have DNF'd this fairly early on, I think. So 1 star, quite disappointed in that one because it is a very highly rated book. Loads of people love this, but I am not one of those people. So that's that. Moving on from one of the worst books I've read this year, if not the worst book I read this year for me personally, to one of the best books I think I've read ever, which would be The Other Side of Now by Paige Harbison. This book was genuinely phenomenal. It made me cry like a baby. The premise is very unique, and just the execution I thought was done extremely well. I've seen some reviews online say it is definitely for a younger audience. There's a lot of like pop culture references and references to celebrities, but it entirely makes sense in this circumstance. So we're following Meg, who is a Hollywood actress going by the name of Lana, and she is celebrating her 30th birthday, but she is not particularly happy in her life. Her best friend died many years ago. She is blaming herself. She thinks it's her fault. She hasn't talked about it with anyone. And then she catches her boyfriend, who she's not in love with, cheating on her. And that's it for her. She's decided she just needs a break. So she's going to go to Ireland and visit the university that her and her friend were meant to go to. But when she gets there, she is in the life she could have been living if she'd gone to that university, and her best friend is still alive. This is all in the blurb, so I'm not spoiling anything. But oh my god, when I say you need to read this, I mean it with my entire being. It was just so beautiful. I absolutely loved it. It gets bonus points for having a character called Amy. Not spelt my way, but close enough. I will give it bonus points for that. I can't even put into words how much I loved this book. It is like top 3 books I've read this year, definitely, and 100% one of the best books I've ever read. The writing was incredible. The characters were so likable. The story behind it, the meaning, it's just so, I loved it. I loved every second of reading this. I didn't want to put it down. I annotated it. I don't know if it will show up on camera because I've done it in yellow. Of all colours, I chose yellow. You can see I've been highlighting my favourite quotes, anything. It references Lost, which if you watch my channel you know is my favourite TV show. I watched it this year, so I'm still obsessed with it from like first time watching. It just does everything right. I absolutely adored this, and you know, references of Mice and Men, A Christmas Carol. You've got famous people names being thrown in there because she's a Hollywood actress, so she's gonna know famous people. It was just so believable. Like, you could tell me that Meg Bryan with a B, is a real person, and I'd believe you, because it all just felt so real, and every feeling that she had, every emotion she went through, I was there with her. I felt it. And I'm not I don't get that particularly often when I'm reading. I cry at books, but I don't feel every emotion so genuinely for a character. So this, I think, I don't want to call it my top book of the year because I literally have a tattoo for Promise Me Sunshine, but this might be my top book of the year. But you'll have to wait and see, because I'm sure I'm going to do a ranking video or listing all my 5 stars. But that being said, this is of course a 5-star read. This is one of my very few 6-star reads. This was incredible, and I cannot tell you how much you need to read this book. You need to read it. It's incredible. But now I have no idea what to pick up next. How do you follow a 1-star and a 5-star? Surely anything is going to be average after that. So the options I've got, I could start the audiobook of Seatmate by Cara Bastone, which, because I'm going to listen on 1.5 speed, is only 3.5 hours long. So it's tempting. I might start that just whilst I'm pottering around my room for a little bit. I still need to read the arc of Daddy Issues. And I've also got 2 new releases that I want to read. I want to read Sin Bin by Chelsea Curto and Duke by Jessica Peterson, but I don't know which one I want to pick up first, so I might just put that off and read Daddy Issues. But we'll see what I end up picking up. You guys won't be able to see it in the clip because all of those options can be read on my Kindle, so that's definitely how I'm going to be reading them. But I think I'm going to start with the audiobook for Seatmate by Cara Bastone, who wrote Promise Me Sunshine. So another banger book I read this year. And obviously you saw my reaction to the first, I don't know if it's a novella. I feel like it's novella that I audiobooked from Cara Bastone at the start of this video. I did really enjoy it, so I have high expectations going into this one. I've yet to have a Cara Bastone book that I didn't like. So that being said, I'm looking at my room. I'm definitely going to tidy up my room a bit. I bought a plant today. I bought a tree for my bedroom, but I have no space. So I need to tidy a space for the tree. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to listen to my audiobook whilst I do it. So I will see you in however long with updates on the audiobook and hopefully whatever book I've picked up on my Kindle. I ended up reading the rest of Love Lines by Cara Bastone. So we've got Sweet Talk and Seatmate. I did read them the wrong way round. So this one is first, this one is second. But I read them, that one first, that one second. It didn't really make a difference. These are all interconnected standalones, and I absolutely loved seeing the other characters. And when it clicked in my brain how they were connected, mwah, chef's kiss, loved. So Sweet Talk follows Elliot and Jessie, and Elliot texts the wrong number, ends up being Jessie's number, and we spend the majority of this book, for Elliot at least, trying to figure out who Jessie is. He can't remember, she's not giving him her name, and there's some secret reason that Jessie has as to why she doesn't want Elliot to know who she is. I thought this was really sweet. There was definitely the deeper undertones plot-wise and emotionally. It was really, really good. I love this one. And I gave it a 4-star. And again, they're all free on Audible with your membership, so definitely worth having them. They're super duper quick, really easy to listen to and get through. Then obviously Seatmate, which is meant to be book number 3. This follows, I have forgotten their names already though. What are their names? It's not, because the first one is Vera and Cal. Who are these people? this one follows Gwen and, oh my god, what is his name? Sam, I think his name is. Yeah, Gwen and Sam. I liked this one because he had the same hair that I had previously this year, with the brown with the blue. But this one follows two people who are on a bus journey that just keeps going wrong. There's delays, there's all sorts going wrong on this bus journey, and they make friends because they're sat on the bus for so long together. And Gwen is trying to get back to, I think they're heading to New York. Yeah, she's trying to get to New York to get to her dream interview with this very famous artist, I think, photographer. And so the pressure's on for her, and Sam basically does everything in his power to make sure she gets to this interview on time. It's so sweet. I think this might have been my favourite one. Is it my favourite one? Yeah. I think Seatmate is my favourite, then Call Me Maybe, then Sweet Talk. Then Sweet Talk. So I think these were really fun. Cara Bastone is still definitely one of my favourites. I've now read 5 of her books and I adore every single one of them. I think they're so fun and unique in their own way, and her writing style is just gorgeous. I think it's so fun. These ones specifically, I don't know if I've mentioned, very good for audiobooking. I mean, they were literally, I think, written for Audible. But they are really good audiobooks because a lot of it is just dialogue. So obviously it makes sense. They are all dual POV. They've all got 2 narrators. It's just a really fun experience listening to these. Definitely some of my favourite audiobooks that I've ever listened to. I could see myself listening to these now that I've listened to them for the first time. I could definitely see myself using them to fall asleep to. They're just so easy to get through. And then I've also finished Daddy Issues, which I did have the ARC for, and now this is the Afterlight edition. I didn't gel with this. I didn't like this one. I really wanted to because I loved the normal cover of this and I really wanted a reason to buy it, but I just didn't like it. And I think this is probably the last Kate Goldbeck book that I'm going to pick up because I also didn't love You Again, which is her other book. This follows, again, I don't know anyone's names. I think her name is Sam as well. This follows Sam and Nick. They are neighbours. Sam is 25 and living in her mum's flat with her mum and her mum's partner. And Nick has just moved in next door with his daughter Kira. And they end up meeting at the pool because Kira is playing circus in the pool. It's really fun. But we've got Sam, who's, I mean, the book is called Daddy Issues. We know it's going to come up. But Sam, who is very emotionally attached to her father, who was not very present and has basically just dumped her with a bunch of comic books that he's claiming are valuable and she doesn't want to let go of because they are the primary bond that her and her dad had. And obviously Nick is a single dad who is like the best dad ever. And Sam sees that and goes, I want a dad like that. I want a dad like that. So that's kind of the basis of how they become friends and eventually more. There is an age difference. I think it's maybe 15 years, which I don't think that's that bad. As I've mentioned in many videos now, I have a boyfriend that's older than me, so I don't really care about age gap romances. It's kind of my thing. This, however, I think was done very poorly because the whole premise as to why she was interested in him I thought was a little bit weird, because she acknowledges it as well. She acknowledges that she fancies him because he's the dad that she never had. I think that's a little bit odd. But then, like, the first time they hook up, she's extremely drunk and he's sober, and he takes advantage of that situation. And there's a moment in this where they have a bit of an argument and she literally says, "You're not my dad." And that was just it. That was like the cherry on top of, I don't want to be reading this anymore. I finished it. I've given it, I think, a 3-star. I might lower that to a 2 because now the more I think about it, the more it irritates me. But that's such an odd thing to say in an argument with someone that you are sleeping with and in a relationship with, to say you're not my dad very seriously, it just didn't sit right with me. Didn't sit right with me at all. So this is a 2-star, and I am going to unhaul this probably quite soon. And I don't know if I actually said Seatmate was also a 4-star. I gave all of these a 4-star. Really, really enjoyed them. And as for what I'm going to read next, I have 3 more books to pick for this video, and I literally don't know what I want to read. My gut is telling me like Sin Bin or Duke, or what else have I got? I don't know what to pick next. I really don't know. I'm just kind of staring at my shelves all in front of me. I literally have no idea. I want to pick up a Scrooge mystery, but it's not Christmassy. It's after Christmas now, so it feels a bit too late to pick that up, but maybe I will. Yeah, I'll get back to you when I know what I'm going to pick up, but at the moment I have zero thoughts. I just kind of want a break. So I'll get back to you when I've picked a new book to be reading. I have finished the 10 books for this video. One of them actually isn't off my TBR, and it was a like less than 100-page novella, but I was running out of time, so we've added it in. It counts. And that's actually going to be the first one I talk about. So I read One Wild Night by Portia McIntosh. It was maybe 60 pages, but I'm counting it because I just needed something to boost me to 10. It follows Dylan and Nicole. It's not really that romantic, to be honest. Like, there's not much of a romance going on. It was just sort of like, here's a snippet of their lives. But Dylan is in a band, and Nicole is a music journalist who is on tour with them, and they are also like childhood best friends, I think. And their tour bus breaks down in a blizzard, and they end up stranded in this little town, and they, very stupidly in my opinion, go to stay at a fan's house, and she's like this teenager who's obsessed with Dylan, and it's really creepy. And they end up like fake dating, but not like literally for one day, to make this girl stop obsessing over Dylan. So it was fine. It was a fun time. I'll give it a 3-star just for the sake of giving it a rating. It was quick, it was easy. Portia McIntosh always is. And of course, love her. I'm actually so excited. I got the ARC for one of her I'm assuming it's her January release, because she releases a book like every month. Crazy. But I've got the ARC for that, and I'm really excited, to the point that I've planned my next video around reading ARCs so that I can read that. Then the other books that I read to boost up to 10 is obviously Duke by Jessica Peterson. This is book 4 in the Lucky River Ranch series. I love every book in this series. This was no exception. I gave this a 4-star. So this follows Duke and Wheeler. I know it started with W. And they are friends. It's kind of insta-lust straight away, but they don't act on it. So kind of slow burn, kind of not. And then they get snowed in at a cabin and have a very fun evening. And Wheeler ends up pregnant. So we've got accidental pregnancy, slow burn, friends to lovers. It was just so fun. I love these books. Adore everything that happens in them. But I would say this is probably my least favourite of the series. I can't think what I rated Sawyer now. I feel like that might have been a 5-star, but I can't remember. But yeah, definitely still love the series. Can't wait for Ryder to come out next year. And I think she's doing another series as well. So we've got some characters introduced in here that are also brothers, and I'm like, that sounds like characters for your next series. So very excited to see what Jessica Peterson comes out with in the next year. Then I actually can't believe this one. I'm obsessed with it. I got it for Christmas. Oh no, just broke my bookmark. But I got The Second Death of Locke by V.L. Bovolino. This book, guys, this book. In the little time-lapsey bits, you would have seen I was playing Lego Harry Potter, because I listened to this on audiobook, because it is set in Scotland, so it was going to be a Scottish narrator, and I love a Scottish accent, so I was like, I need to hear this. And oh my god, this book was so fucking good. This was a 5-star. Absolutely a 5-star. One of my favourite things I think I've read all year. This follows Gray, and I've forgotten his name. That's not helpful. Gray and someone. Kia. I could have got that. This follows Gray and Kia. So he is a mage and she is his hand. So she like funnels the magic through him, I'm pretty sure. It's a new magic system to me, so I understand it in my head, but I don't know how to explain it. And they are best friends. They work together, obviously. They've been friends since childhood. They've got this like very strong connection anyway, and then they have bound to each other, which means I don't really understand it, to be honest, but it basically means their connection is super duper strong, and it's actually an illegal thing because it means that Gray can't be a hand to another mage. It has to be Kia. And which way around is it? If Gray dies, Kia will never be able to do magic again, sort of thing. Like, it's a very strong bond. Absolutely loved this. It was so good. I literally can't put into words how good it was. It had drama. It was so fast paced. I'd argue it was an epic fantasy, but I don't read epic fantasy enough to know the difference if this isn't one. I fucking adored this though. This was incredible, and shout out to my brother who, whilst he didn't pick this because I bought it for myself and then gave him a little invoice telling him how much he owed me for it, this is what he got me for Christmas. I'm obsessed with it. This is the Illumicrate edition. It's just stunning. It's so stunning. I absolutely love, which side is it? Ooh. I love this artwork. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous. I don't know why I've started doing that voice, but I expect to see that in a couple more videos. But yeah, this was a 5-star. It was incredible. They basically want to retire, so they end up taking this mission where if they complete it, they can retire forever. But the catch being no one thinks they can complete it without dying. So obviously they go on this mission. Another big plot line is the nation of Locke fell to like everyone died basically. So they're also looking for the heir to Locke who survived, because Locke is where all the magic comes from. I think I've understood that correctly. So they're looking for this heir so they can restore Locke and get all the power like flowing fully again. And so their mission is to take this girl claiming to be the heir of Locke. And they basically think that they're either going to get killed or she's going to kill them or something. So super duper fun. Highly recommend the audiobook. I cannot wait for the sequel to come out next year. I really hope Illumicrate does another gorgeous edition for me to buy so that they match. And as I said, 5-star. I think this is probably, I can't think of another. Oh, Blood and Steel would be my other fantasy pick this year, but this is definitely like, I don't know if I'd say I prefer this to Blood and Steel, but they're very, very close together. I love them both. Then a recap of the books that I've read previously in this video. We've obviously got these 3, which are all short stories by Cara Bastone. We know I love her. We've got Call Me Maybe, Sweet Talk and Seatmate, and I gave all of these 4 stars. Absolutely adored them all. I won't go back over what they're about because I think I've done that at least twice already this video. Then we had The Mating Game by Lana Ferguson. I found this one to be a little bit disappointing. Just, it made me cringe so much. I think it's my least favourite of her books that I've read, and I gave it a 3-star. Then we've got my most disappointing book of the year by a long shot, because I DNF everything that I don't like, and this I powered through for my buddy read. Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, which was a 1-star, and I will be unhauling this. So if you want a copy, I have broken the spine. It'll be up on my Vinted if I remember to link that in the description. You can buy that. And then I'll go for another one that I found disappointing actually first.
Daddy Issues by Kate Goldbeck. Obviously this is the Afterlight edition, which unfortunately I do think I'm gonna unhaul. I gave this a 2-star. It just didn't sit right with me. There were some moments in it that I just thought were not great. I found the main character quite annoying at times. So 2-star for this one and another unhaul. And then a second 5-star read of the video with The Other Side of Now by Paige Harbison. I've actually recommended this to my co-workers because I loved it that much. I think it's incredible. It's a bit of me, this. It made me cry. Doesn't take much to make me cry, but this did make me cry. And this again might be one of my favourite books of the year. I've just got a whole bunch of tattoos done and I'm really gutted that I'd planned them before I read this, because I feel like this doorway would have been such a cool tattoo in homage to this book. So I'll bear that in mind and hopefully I can find a little spot to put this in, because I did get 2 bookish tattoos. I got one for Good Spirits and one for Atmosphere. So I feel like I'm going down a rabbit hole of getting bookish tattoos now. So with that said, those are the 10 books that I read in this video. It is actually now January 1st 2026, so happy new year. This comes out on the 2nd, I think, so happy new year. I hope everyone had a really lovely Christmas and New Year's Eve, and I wish you all the best for 2026. I hope you stick around, and I'll be uploading again next Friday with another video. I think it's going to be my December wrap up, because I actually don't think I read that much. I only read 13 books. It's basically these books again. So I might pick something else to do for that instead. I don't know, let me know down below if you've got any suggestions on what I can upload next week, because I want to do a sit down video. So we could do either my December wrap up, maybe all my 5 stars of 2025, talk about my best and worst from each month. They're kind of the options. Let me know if you want any of those in particular, and I will see you next week with another video. Bye!